thank you very much for spending some time with us. Nice to see you. Your character, Macrinus, do you see him as a villain, or do you see him as somebody who is, in a pretty murky world, working his way to the top in the only way he knows how?
Do I see him as a villain? No. I see him as an opportunist.
Okay.
Product of his environment. What's the saying? The power behind the throne is kept by any means necessary. Another one, I think Nelson Mandela said, a leader like a shepherd puts the fast, nimble sheep out front so that the rest will follow, not realizing they're all being led from behind. Isn't that something?
Yeah,
that's what I think Mandela, a leader like a shepherd, puts the fast, nimble sheep, the gladiators or kings or emperors or anybody else, puts them out front so that the rest will follow, not realizing they're all being led from behind. He's a leader from behind, but he's on the dark side. He's an agent he's sold his soul. He's willing to do whatever to lead them off the cliff.
Yeah. I didn't expect to go deep so early, but do you think life is like that? Do you think, we concentrate so much, don't we, on the person who is presented at the front of the stage, but actually it's those people in the wings you have to keep an eye on.
Malcolm X, he would talk about by any means necessary. That's not the quote. I think it was a French somebody. You'll find out. It said the power behind the throne is kept by any means necessary. It was true then, and it's probably true now.
There's been a lot of talk about this film, a lot of excitement in this film. I've had quite a few conversations this week. People who haven't seen it yet, who feel a little nervous because they love the first film so much. Do you feel...
those people are probably older. There's a whole group of people who are just 25 and never saw it.
But I wonder whether you and the rest of the cast and everybody who works in it, do you feel that you are stepping on holy ground, and does that add a little weight to the shoulders?
It's a movie. To be honest with you, the movie's not called Macrinus, so there's no weight on my shoulders. The movie's called Gladiator.
But it's a well-known name.
I don't feel any pressure. No, I mean, nothing I can do about it. I mean, what? You mean because, like what, they'll beat us to death because we're not good enough?
Well, I would really hope not.
Yeah, they'll flog us, crucify us.
They might go full Macrinus on
us. Yeah, full Macrinus, yeah. But, he's delivered, first of all. It's a tough one to pull off. Is Godfather 2 as good as Godfather 1? I don't know. What's the best 2 ever?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Equalizer 2.
Oh, please.
The cast is incredible, isn't it?
Ridley said it, 80% of filmmaking for him is casting. And we're all, I believe most of us, or all of us are from the theater. We worked together as an ensemble. There weren't any egos. Great actors, everybody got a chance to shine.
Can I tell you about my friend called Julian?
Okay.
Right. So when I speak to Julian, he always asks me, who have you interviewed this week? And most of the time he has no interest. But I mentioned that I was speaking to you, and I'll be honest with you, he got a bit emotional because he's a 45-year-old guy, and he says he and his friends talk about you a lot because growing up as a black kid in London, all your films have punctuated various points of his life. He loves, throughout Bone Collector, Training Day, he loves so much of what you have done. And I hope you don't mind me saying, he and his friends called you Uncle Denzel.
Okay.
Does something like that, and the way that he looks up to you and is inspired by what you have done and what you have created, does that bring with it a responsibility? And how does that sit with you, if I can ask you that?
You don't know till you hear it. I'm inspired by that. I'm glad he got something from it. I remember being 13, 14 and watching Superfly, the original, and Shaft. And one of our partners, my 3 closest friends are, dead. Or, they did, well, one of them's still alive. He did about 40 years in the penitentiary. My other 2 closest friends did about 30 years, so I didn't do a day. But we fell in love with those characters, and we wanted to be a drug dealers like them or riding cars like them. So if I can in some way help someone escape for a while, or they see themselves in me or by what I do, then that's what then thank you for giving me a chance to influence you and that's well worth it. That's not why I do it, but I'm glad to hear it and I'm inspired by it.
He was worried a little bit about this retirement talk. I mean,
Right. I'm not retiring from the film business.
No.
There's less and less films for me to do, and the standard that I want, I'm getting an opportunity to work with some of the greats.
Okay.
So, and really, I love filmmaking. So I want to learn more about it. I want to get back behind the camera. And, 6, 7, how many years it's going to be before I finish these films I got in front of me in front of the camera. After that, I want to get behind the camera.
Okay.
And talking to like Steve McQueen, he said it's 2 years of your life and your heart and your soul. Well, in 6 or 7 years, I'll be 77 making a film, starting to direct a film. By the time I'm finished, I may be 79. Or 80.
So you've not put a date on it. It's just projects you want to do.
You don't want to be 80 with some tights on. You don't want to be 80 equalizing anybody. You don't want to be. You don't want to see that. I don't want
Equalizer
to see.
16.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. Yeah. Hi. Where is he? And the guys, he's doing like,
I think that could be good. Yeah.
I don't want to fall asleep on the set, but I think I'll try falling asleep on the movie.
Okay.
I think that's what's left for me. Then I'll retire.
Yeah. Oh,
how about that?
Fall asleep on a film.
Fall
finish
asleep
it.
and retire.
Black Panther 3, fall asleep,
No,
done.
not Black Panther 3.
Right.
So you get the opportunity to get the story right.
Right.
I never said that was the last film I was going to do. That's what they put out now. So
Okay.
you go get the story right. It's one of the last films I'm thinking about doing. I'm only interested in working with the best. So I got Ryan Coogler I've been talked with him last night, had a 2-hour conversation with Steve McQueen, had a great conversation, but I'm not making a film with him yet, but I had a great conversation with Paul Thomas Anderson. So that's the level I'm talking about.
Big guns.
People that inspire me. I mean, I still want to be inspired. I'm inspired by Ridley at his age to be that excited about making movies. That's how I want to feel, and that's how I feel about directing. It's the next carrot. I want to go back and learn. I want to start again. I want to start over. I don't want to be in it. Even if I make a $4 or $5 million movie, that's exciting to me.
I love your passion for the industry.
And I'm passionate about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Do you have the same passion when it comes to music? Because you're holding a Classic FM microphone there, and Harry Gregson Williams has done the score to Gladiator II. Mm-hmm. How much do you, as an actor, are you inspired by the music? Does that filter into your experience of a film?
You mean like in
Yeah.
when watching a film?
When watching and being part of it, when you
you
hear
don't have the score when you're making
when
the
you hear it for the first time. I mean,
we were watching. I snuck in on IMAX last night and watched the last 20 minutes of Gladiator. My goodness, every sound, the music, the score. I'll never get to learn how to make a movie like that, but I understand and appreciate all of those elements that come together, and music is huge.
Is there a film that you have worked on, or a film that you watch yourself and you think that soundtrack has really hit you, or that score has conjured up something magical for you?
To be honest with you, I'm not a film buff. Never have been. I'm not a big film watcher. Never have been. Never have been. When I was a kid, I wanted to get in the street. I didn't want to go to the movies. I didn't want to be in movies. When I became an actor, I wanted to be like De Niro and Scorsese and Hoffman and Pacino. I went to the movies because they were in them, and I liked that style, and I knew the streets that they were on in New York. So I fell in love with movies as an actor and wanted to make movies like that. Now I'm falling in love with movies as a filmmaker and want to learn more about it. That's the next, carrot or whatever the word is out there.
And is classical music something that you enjoy? Do you play it in
Sacred Arias, I was just playing. Bocelli's my boy.
Do you listen to that to get you in the right mood, or to get you in?
I listen to it to get home from the gym, or I just love. My wife was a child prodigy. She was a Van Cliburn competitor as a child. She got her master's, and she was Juilliard and all of that. So I learned a lot about classical music from her. And even the guy who cuts my hair, Cherry, he turned me on to Bocelli years back, and Romanza and all those albums. And then getting behind the camera and obviously not knowing what the heck I was doing. But I can remember, I don't know if we came to London or Antoine Fisher, but the first time I sat in there, I was like, wow. It was like watching a movie, but I was, in theory, I was in charge.
And that's a lovely thing, isn't it, to lead someone else into beautiful music that makes then an impact on your life, like your barber did.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
you're doing Othello again, aren't you? On Broadway.
Yes.
You did Othello, I think, as a 22-year-old.
22, yeah.
What do you think this Othello would tell that Othello about this industry, about this world, about this life?
It didn't work then, it won't work now. But good luck. Save your money. It's going to be interesting. And it actually came out of a Gladiator. All the old actors were sitting up there while the boy was jumping around and getting thrown around. We were just all sitting around kicking and talking about plays and theater. And I guess we got the subject out on Othello. And I think it was Tim, I can never say his last name, Macrinus. And we were saying, I'm too old to play Othello. He says, no, you're not. He says, you're right. You know, and I just spoke with Molly Osborne yesterday. And it makes sense even where I am in life, like he's a rock star. He's not that I'm a rock star, but where I am in life is where he is.
Thank you very much for your time.
That was it.
I would love my claim to fame to be the guy that Denzel Washington fell asleep in an interview with. So there he goes. We've lost him. Thank you very much, Denzel.